Hey everyone, how's it going? So what are we working on today? Well, I wasn't planning on making a video on this. And it's a noise in a 2017 Honda Pilot. Customer came in and said, it sounds like I'm driving over gravel sometimes. And other times at slow speeds I hear like a clanking type noise. Okay. I get in it, I take it for a ride, I don't really notice anything. Then I start going slow speeds, and I went over to Mexico there, and I'm in their parking lot because I got no traffic when I go through there. And at very slow speeds, you can hear like a gravel type sound, like a like, but over like gravel, like just very slow, like rough type of sound. I'm like, what the heck is that? And every once in a while, you hear like a clink, clink, clink. So I'm like, man, this is just bizarre. Okay, so let me show you the car real quick. So there's the wheel, there's the left front, there's the vehicle. So what I did was I started looking at it, I put it up in the air. I didn't have the wheels rolling or anything because I didn't think about it at the time. I honestly thought it was something wheel bearing related. So I started checking things and I realized if I tapped on the backing plate here, I just tapped on it, it would rattle. So I'm like, well, you know what? That's a good possibility that that's the noise I'm hearing. Maybe the backing plate for some reason with the vibration of the vehicle, and it's just creating some kind of a noise. And that's the type of noise I was hearing, that this kind. Just like I was basically hearing, that type of metallic noise. Nothing really heavy or anything like that. So I'm like, that must be it. So I took the caliper off, took the rotor off, and there's 3 bolts that hold the backing plate in place. They were actually loose. So I'm like, okay. So I got back there with a Phillips head bit, and this little bad boy right here, Phillips head bit, and this quarter drive wrench. See, it's got a 6-point on that end. So I got that between the hub and the backing plate, and I was able to tighten up the 3 bolts. I'm like, okay, that had to be it. Had to be it. So I back it out of the shop, and I go to drive away with it, and sure enough, it does the same thing. Hang on one second. So where did I leave off? Yes, I'm backing it out of the shop, and I go to drive it up front because I was confident it was fixed. I hear the noise again. I'm like, how can that be? That sounds like the backing plate. So I'm driving it through the parking lot here, and I can make it happen now. Like before, it's like maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough, but I can make it happen in a parking lot. I'm like, what the heck? So it sounds like like it's a really knobby tire on the pavement too, and it's not a knobby tire. I mean, that's a good, Michelin tire, and the tread looks perfect. Nothing with the tread. If you ever driven a dirt bike or a quad or anything like that on dry pavement, and that noise the knobby tires make, it was kind of making a similar noise. I'm like, what the heck is that? And every once in a while you'd hear this clank noise. So I was like, all right, put it back on a lift. Now I'm going to spin it on a lift. Spinning it on a lift, I can hear it. Why? Well, the tire's not even contacting the ground, so why does it sound like a knobby tire? I was like, oh, wait a second, I know what this is. Sure enough, I pull the wheel off and check this out. I'm going to set you up in a little tripod here. And I'm going to maybe back you up a bit. All right, so now check this out. You hear it? It doesn't do it all the time. What I think the tire pressure sensor broke free on the inside and is actually rattling around and sometimes hitting the aluminum part of the rim. Well, the aluminum rim. Under the right circumstances. But really bizarre, and what's happening is it's rolling, so it kind of gives it that knobby tire sound. Excuse me. But yeah, very odd. Very, very odd. We don't do tires here, so gonna have to take this over to the tire shop and let them break it down and see if they can't see what's inside the tire. But yeah, very, very odd situation. And the fact that the backing plate was loose and I could actually make it rattle by tapping on it, that kind of threw me. But there's a first for everything. And this is definitely a first for me. I've never seen one break free. At least that's what I think it is. I'm going to have them break the tire down for me, and I want to see what's actually inside there. Because those look like reasonably new tires. So, I don't know, maybe something was in the tire, like a wheel weight or something. I have no idea. I have no clue whatsoever. But I'm going to have them break it down and show me what was inside of it. Be really interested to find out. So, maybe I'll do that first before I finish this video and I can show you what was actually in there. Tire light was not on. This does not have a tire pressure light on. So, what's going on? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Hopefully they'll show me because I'm going to have to drop it off with them. But let's do that. So I just got back from the tire store, had them break this down, and this is what was in it. All of this. How is that laying inside this tire? The tire's not brand new. So, I don't know. Did somebody throw them in there while mounting the tire? I don't know. I don't know the reason for it. But that's what was in it. So, let me go put this back on the car and then take it for another quick ride. I mean, obviously I know that's it. But I'm just going to take it for another quick ride in case there's more of that in another tire. I mean, I've seen a single weight wind up inside a tire and get stuck in there. I've seen that. And then it breaks free eventually. But not this. It's almost like this stuff was planted in there. Unless all four tires were sitting next to the tire machine. And as they were ripping weights off, they wound up falling in one tire. But how you wouldn't notice that putting a tire on is beyond me. I don't know. Weird. I think it's sabotage. But I don't know. All right, let's get this back on the car, and we're going to go from there. Just want to show you before and after. Now, I'm over in Mexico, and this is where I had it before when I first was test driving it, trying to figure out what the noise was. Now, you may be wondering why I'm test driving it again, since I found what the problem was and I fixed it. Well, I had the wheel off. Plus, they broke it down at the tire place. I want to make sure they balance it right. So, what if they didn't balance it right? Now, all of a sudden, the thing has a vibration. You know what I mean? That's why I don't want to give it back to the customer until I road test it. So, I came back to the same spot. I want to verify that everything is fixed, all the noises I heard. So, right here, I'm in this section of parking lot with a building here. And what I was doing before was basically just going slow like this. And you would think going this slow that noise would be there all the time. But I was just doing this. And every once in a blue moon, it sounded like I ran over a license plate. You know, that metallic clank noise. And like I said, it really sounded like a license plate or like a piece of metal sheeting, something like that, you know, that I ran over. It's, you know, the sound of the backing plate, like maybe there was a rock in the rotor that was dropping and hitting the backing plate and then bouncing back up. You know, I don't know. But this is what I was doing, and I only heard it a few times, which blows my mind. But I guess either the weights were rolling or sliding inside the tire, and then other times they were actually just getting stuck enough to where they would roll up or go completely around. I don't know. I don't know. Hard to say. But that's what I was doing on this road test. So I drove over here. Like I said, I wanted to make sure there was no vibration. I wanted to make sure there was no noise. I wanted to make sure basically everything was okay. So now everything is okay. So now I can give the car back to the customer, and the customer's going to be happy. Weird thing is, they had the tires done 6 months ago. And the owner said that she heard the noise shortly after getting the tires, and then she didn't notice it again. And she said it kind of came and went. So the husband, I guess, knows enough about cars, so he looked real briefly. He didn't notice anything, but then when they were in a parking garage or something along those lines, they heard it, like, consistently. So they're like, well, something's obviously wrong. 6 months later, though. So, yeah, just kind of weird. But, you know, weird things happen, and I seem to get a lot of weird things. So, but that's going to pretty much end this video. Interesting one, that's for sure. Not something I see every day, but I've seen weird things. This is one of them. So, but tire pressure sensor wasn't broken, amazingly enough, and that's what I originally thought it was going to be, was a tire pressure sensor, but it was weights. So like I said, I got a funny feeling it was sabotage, or they just happened to be right next to the balancer, and when they were knocking the weights off the rims, who the heck knows? I don't know. All right, that's going to end this. I'm just rambling. All right, guys, hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, have a great day. Keep wrenching.